What's up, Dolphins? Travis Wingfield with you guys here, host of the Drive Time podcast, part of the official Miami Dolphins podcast network. And I am thrilled to be joined by John Congemi, the co-host of the Audible podcast, alongside Kim Bocamper there on the Audible. You can get both those podcasts wherever you get your podcast from. We're talking all things NFL draft today, and specifically the wide receiver position. We had Devontae Parker break out last year. Preston Williams looks very good as an undrafted rookie last year, but this class is claimed to be one of the deepest in many, many years, and it's top-heavy too. And we're going to start here, John, with Oklahoma's CeeDee Lamb. What do you get from this guy who basically was just the next one in line there to produce in that Lincoln Riley offense?
Well, first of all, I'd like to play receiver at Oklahoma with the string of quarterbacks that they've had over the last 3 years and Heisman trophies going out the window. But what you get is a 4-5 blazer who can knock the top off of any defense. He was a freshman All-American. He was an All-American last year. He went over 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns. And most impressive, he was over 21 yards every time he touched the football, anytime he caught it down the field. He was, whether it's down the field on a 9 route on a bomb, or it's a quick screen or an out pass that he makes the first guy miss, and then he takes off. He turns into a running back in the open field. He's got great awareness, and he's really good when you get his hands on the football early in a route, because it gives him that much more time to provide that electric play, that explosive play down the field. But the most impressive things, sometimes in zone coverage, receivers either get there too early, or that maybe their timing isn't ready when the quarterback's ready to deliver the football. I think CeeDee Lamb has an innate ability to kind of be open when the quarterback's ready to deliver the football. And that's very important. It's kind of underrated when you're looking at guys and looking at the skill and the wow factor. I think CeeDee Lamb is that entire package. He's going to make an NFL quarterback very happy.
I couldn't agree more. The pacing of his routes and the way he kind of stems off his footwork at the top of the route, gets himself to the catch point, and then, like you said, just a big play waiting to happen, kind of like Jarvis Landry after the catch, and the way he's able to shrug off tacklers and just make guys miss, whether it's running through them or running around them. And now I want to transition, John, to a player that I think is the most exciting route runner that I've seen in quite some time. He plays at Alabama, JEUDY. We all know who he is. This guy can run any route from any position on the field. You line him in the slot, you condense him in tight, you flex him out wide, plus beyond the numbers, and he can get it all done from any position. I love how patient he is and getting off the line of scrimmage with his release, and also the way he chases blind spots. You'll see cornerbacks get themselves into a zone turn where they get their back to the sideline, and he goes after that blind spot and just attacks it relentlessly, constantly getting open downfield, intermediate, and he's a playmaker with the ball in his hands too, John.
Just as good as Lamb was for Oklahoma, I think JEUDY's probably the best receiver in this draft. Now, I don't know what separates these guys in terms of they're both explosive off the line of scrimmage. They both create big plays. They're both exceptional run after catch guys. I just think that when you have 24 touchdowns in your last 28 games, when you're always finding the end zone, when big plays come your way and you're the guy that your number's called. I think that happened for JEUDY a number of times with Tua Tagovailoa. And I just think that there's something there that this guy, not only does he run crisp routes, not only is he good run after catch, but I think he's a leader. I think he's a leader by the way he plays. You're separating a lot of footballs at Alabama from Ruggs and Waddle and Smith. This guy never complained. He made the most out of his opportunities, and I think you can read that. That's a body language type of thing that I want this guy on my team or in my huddle, because if the days he's going to get 3 or 4 really doesn't faze him, because he knows he might take the 5th one to the house. So this is a guy that, like I said, a lot of talented receivers, but JEUDY might be at the top of the list.
You talked about the production in terms of these guys scoring touchdowns at an insane clip in terms of catching the ball every 4 or 5 times they take it to the house. Henry Ruggs had 100 career touches in college, and 24 went the distance. This guy, he is a burner. He almost set the record for the fastest 40-yard dash at the combine at 4.27. Just missed that mark by 5/100ths of a second there, or 5/10ths of a second, I should say, from John Ross back with UW and Cincinnati Bengals now. But Henry Ruggs, he is not just a speed guy, John. He can really do a lot of things in your passing game.
Well, he does have that track speed, as you mentioned, but he's a football player. He's football tough. So I like that combination, a guy that can blow the top off of coverage, but has those football characteristics that he can catch the football in traffic. I think of Tyreek Hill. When I look at Henry Ruggs, I think Tyreek Hill. Now, maybe Hill's going to win it in a 40-yard dash, but I'll take Ruggs in that challenge, because He's dynamic, and he's a short space guy, fly motion. Get him the football any way you can, and he's going to make your offense move the chains. You're going to get those explosive plays. He's a nightmare matchup for any defense. As soon as he goes from maybe a running back position to a slot position, you put him in motion across the line of scrimmage, across the formation, I should say, and all of a sudden, where's my matchup? Ruggs doesn't need a whole lot of time to get open. So as a quarterback, you're looking for guys that you can get the football quickly on time, that can make the first guy miss, and then make big plays, run after catch. All three of these guys can do it, but Ruggs might be the fastest guy.
He might be the fastest. He might be the first guy off the board. I think these three are kind of the unanimous top three, but there are plenty of other guys in this class. And we talked about it with the running back position, John. Kind of pick your flavor. What do you want at the position? Because there are guys all throughout this class, all throughout every round of this class that can really do multiple things. And let's go ahead and talk about a few of these other guys in this class. Justin Jefferson, for me, is the best slot receiver in this class there at LSU. And you'd want to talk about a team mentality, a guy that just wanted to win championships, and of course got that done this year. And talking about big game moments and stepping up, had crazy stats in the Oklahoma game in the semifinal, and then again against Clemson in the championship game. Talk a little bit about Justin Jefferson and maybe somebody else that you like in this draft class besides those top three guys, John.
I see a smooth technician when I look at Jefferson because of the amount of catches, 111 catches last year, 18 touchdowns. You're right, the most polished, I think, as a slot receiver coming out to the next level. You talk about strong hands in traffic. This guy caught a lot of footballs with a linebacker and a safety beside him, and he's able to squeeze through that coverage and make a big play for Joe Burrow, leading them to the national title. One other guy I would, Rieger from TCU is good, Mims from Baylor is good, but a sleeper is Antonio Gibson from Memphis because he played running back a little bit, he played slot, played wide out. He can do a little bit of everything. In a day and age where the Miami Dolphins are looking for versatility on the defensive side in terms of linebacker, rush end, guy that can drop, this guy can do a little bit of everything. So I would look for somebody, whoever's going to get Antonio Gibson in this year's draft, taking that next step might be a little bit big in the first year, but he's a touchdown maker. 14 touchdowns, and he only touched the football 77 times last year. I want that guy on my auto.
We could see as many as 20 receivers off the board the first three rounds, the first 2 days of this draft class. Will the Dolphins get one of them? We'll find out in April. Travis Wingfield from the Drive Time Podcast and John Conjemi from the Audible here, talking all things 2020 NFL Draft and your Miami Dolphins.